Hi everybody, Gene here. Welcome to the Tapping Q&A podcast, where every single week we answer the most common and uncommon questions about tapping and EFT so you can move past the basic recipe, allowing you to master the art of delivery. You'll learn how to find root causes faster, clear issues quicker, and have longer lasting results with your tapping. I just wanted to give you a quick heads up that currently here in the month of November, we are doing a 30-day tapping challenge, which means every single day I'm challenging you to spend 5 minutes tapping, because it'll make a difference in your life. It'll make a difference in the people's lives around you. And I've made it super easy for you. I have created a tap along video that is absolutely free for every single day in the month of November. All you need to do is go to tappingqa.com/30-day. That's tappingqa.com/30-day. And it doesn't matter if you are listening to this during the month of November or sometime in the future, because all of the videos are still available well into the future. tappingqa.com/30-day. I hope you join us and tap along every day this month. This is Gene Montrose telling. Welcome to the Tapping Q&A podcast, recorded live to tape from Williamsburg in Brooklyn. This is episode 486, originally aired November 4th, 2020. Hi everyone, I hope this finds you well wherever you are and whatever time of day you get a chance to listen to this. Today we are going to talk about and tap for the feeling of uncertainty, particularly when we're in a world where there are things that impact us that we do not control. Before we do that, two quick things. First of all, we have a free 10-part guide to help you use tapping to eliminate self-sabotage. All you need to do is go to tappingqa.com, click on that big blue button. If you happen to be listening to this in the website, up at the top of that right-hand corner, you will see a big blue button. It's absolutely free. Every single day over the course of the next week and a half, we'll send you a new free resource that'll help you get the most out of your tapping and to take the action that you want. Secondly, I would like to thank everyone who is a supporter of the Tapping Q&A podcast. If you are a supporter, make sure that you are checking out the supporters page, because I have been providing a lot of free, amazing stuff in relation to our 30-day tapping challenge that as supporters you get access to. A huge thank you to Stephen and Cynthia. Stephen and Cynthia are the two most recent members to support the Tapping Q&A podcast who have access to a number of amazing, great giveaways, including the free resources that are bonuses for the 30-day challenge. If you too would like to support the podcast, get amazing free gifts, and just get a warm, fuzzy feeling knowing that you're making it possible for the podcast to exist, all you need to do is go to tappingqa.com/support. That's tappingqa.com/support. If there is one thing that the last 6 or 7 months have taught us, is how emotionally hard it can be when we are dealing with big problems that we do not have control over. I can remember years and years and years ago, I was studying Spanish and flamenco in the south of Spain. And at the end of the first day, we were in a circumstance where everybody who was at the school lived in apartments together. So all of us who were living together after class one day, the first day, decided to go get drinks just to get to know each other. And as we were standing around having conversation, I look over to my friend Jennifer, who is next to me. And we were at these tables, and bread had been served with the drinks. And so there were breadcrumbs all over the table. And I looked over, and what Jennifer was doing is she was taking all of the crumbs and she was making them into this cute, neat little pile. Now, something that's important to recognize is Jennifer came kind of at the last minute with a friend of hers, so she wasn't planning to do this. She spoke very little Spanish, and so the entire thing, because it was the first day in a new country, was really overwhelming, which makes perfect sense. And so I just turned to her as she was doing all of the crumbs into a neat little pile. I asked, let me guess, that's the only thing in the universe right now that you can control? And she looked up and she nodded and just went back to working on her pile because it made it easier to manage. With all of the uncertainty that we have been facing in the world, with our health, with elections, with political strife, it's been really difficult. I know it's been really difficult for me over the course of the last 6 or 7 months, because the problems feel so big and they feel so outside of my control that I can't impact things globally directly. I can impact my life day to day as much as I can control my choices, but the world is impacting my life. And it feels as if at this moment, though it's not true, but it feels though in this moment that the world has a more proportionate impact on my day to day than it does at other times. It feels more uncertain because it's impacting us more. The uncertainty is always there. But in moments like this, it's really easy to just feel overwhelmed and consumed and distracted and unfocused and staring off into the middle distance for 5 or 6 minutes and kind of snapping back into the moment. And I only give those examples not because I'm thinking that's what you are experiencing, but it's because what it has been my experience on and off over the course of the last 7 months since we have been taking the global pandemic seriously here in New York since the beginning of March. There's been 3 circumstances where I've just emotionally hit the wall, where it has been too hard. And a big portion of that is the sense of lack of certainty and the sense of lack of control. And so today, we're just going to take a few moments and we're going to tap around the idea of being in a world where there are things that are uncertain, there are things that are out of control, and how we can manage that in a thoughtful and safe way. So tap on the side of the hand, take a nice big deep breath for me. And just move from tapping point to tapping point, repeating after me. I recognize the fact there are so many things in the universe that are outside of my control. When things are going well, when things are going as planned, it feels like the world is manageable. It feels like the world is predictable. It feels like I have more control than I actually do. In the moments of conflict, in the moments of strife, in the moments of uncertainty, it's really easy to feel out of control. It's easy to feel lost. It's easy to feel overwhelmed. I give myself permission to feel overwhelmed. I give myself permission to feel out of control. I give myself permission to recognize that things impact my life that I do not have control over. That is not a sign of weakness. That is not a sign of helplessness. That is simply being human. I give these emotions permission to be heard. Because these emotions only want me to be safe. These emotions only want me to be aware. These emotions only want me to be able to manage the day-to-day in a healthy way. And so it makes sense that I'm looking out for danger. It makes sense that I'm looking out for trouble. It makes sense that I'm on the lookout for overwhelm. Just because there is uncertainty, it does not mean I am unsafe. Just because there is uncertainty, it does not mean I have lost my ability to choose. Just because there is uncertainty, I've not lost my ability to take action. I give myself permission to be easy with myself. I give myself permission to be in this moment. I give myself permission to make the best possible choice that I can make in this moment. Even if I'm uncertain of what that choice should be. I can manage this. I can navigate this. I can survive this. I give myself permission to simply be in this moment. To make the best possible choices that I can make. In big and in small ways. I have survived uncertainty before. And I can survive uncertainty again. I give myself permission to be in this moment and simply do the best that I can in this moment. Nice deep breath. One of the foundations that I really build my work on, the art of delivery that I think is so important, is transformation begins by stating what is. And oftentimes, you will notice that when I begin a tapping round, I start with, I give myself permission to recognize. Because sometimes it doesn't feel safe, it doesn't feel comfortable, it doesn't feel like we're allowed to feel what we actually feel. And so by giving ourselves that space and giving ourselves that opportunity, it makes it so much easier to move forward in a thoughtful and a deliberate way. That when we hear our emotions, fully articulated emotions are short-lived, which makes it easier for navigation, which makes it easier for healing, which makes it easier for transformation. So in the midst of chaos and uncertainty, if you're listening to this the first week of November when it's released or at any point in the future, just know that you are not alone in feeling overwhelmed and uncertain, and this is something that you can return to again and again. If you know someone in your life who could use a tap along like this, you might know someone who you've had a conversation with in the last 24 or 48 hours who's really feeling overwhelmed by the uncertainty in the world. Be our ambassadors, pass it along. Don't spam your inbox. But after you've had that conversation, just send them a note saying, I know how you're feeling right now. I'm feeling it too. Maybe this tool will help you. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the podcast. In podcasting parlance, subscribe is always free. You can find the show in Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Pandora, Spotify, Amazon Music, Audible, basically anywhere you find audio. If you search Tapping Q&A, you can get the show absolutely free. There might be a subscribe button. There might be a follow button. Remember, in podcasting parlance, subscribing is always free. By subscribing, what you do is you ensure you get a notification every single time a new episode comes out so that you don't miss the tapping goodness. If you have a question, if you have a comment, if you have a topic that you'd like us to cover in the future, please let me know. I can always be reached, Gene, Gene, at tappingqa.com. This year's 30-day tapping challenge, the exciting thing is every single topic that we are tapping to is recommended by a listener just like you. So if you have a resource you'd like us to create in the future, please let me know. For the Tapping Q&A podcast, this is Gene Montrestali. I hope you have a great day, and I will talk to you real soon. Bye-bye. The Tapping Q&A podcast is copyright Gene Monterostelli Tapping Q&A. All views expressed by guests are those of the guests and not necessarily of Gene Monterostelli and Tapping Q&A.